What's going on, everybody? What's going on? We are back. It is a new week. It is Monday. Monday night review, and probably basically the preview. HBCU OverDrive. As y'all already know, I'm your guest. I'm your host. Let me take that back. I'm your host, Doc Holiday. If you haven't done it by now, make sure that you like the stream, comment, share with your people, and most of all, subscribe, become a member of the hottest HBCU podcast that's going on right now, only on YouTube and on other platforms as Facebook and Twitter. So, man, look, I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I had a unbearable weekend because of the simple fact it's Black Friday. It was Black Friday weekend. Um, of course, everybody knows, most people know, working retail. So when it comes down to it, I got to deal with a whole bunch of people, and got to deal with attitudes, got to deal with this, got to deal with that. I'm to the point where I didn't want to deal with none of that this weekend. I just wanted to come home and actually kind of go to sleep. Or um and it's funny because I didn't even do no shows. I think I did only like one or two shows last week, and that's not of me. But it was the holiday, being Thanksgiving weekend. Um, I toned it down a little bit. But being a house man, I know everybody's been wondering what's going on with the situation with Coach Prime, and that is I want to go on first, y'all. Man, look, is he staying or going? Is he staying or is he going? So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My whole take about this is I want him to stay. I've been having trouble with this thing all week. I want him to stay. We all want him. We all want him to stay at that state and build a powerhouse that ain't nobody has ever seen since the 60s and the 70s, and some even the mid 90s with those southern teams that we had back then, the 80s and the 70s with those Grambling teams and the Valleys and the Alcorns. But my whole thing is we want to build a dynasty. We want a dynasty at Jackson State. We want something that he can put his name on and say he was one of the greatest coaches that ever came into Jackson State history, into the football program. Um, we want him to be up there with the WC Gordons. We want him to be up there with the Big Daddy James Carsons. We want him to be up there with the big, with Big John Merritt. We want him to be up there with even Comedy, in his brief time when he was at Jackson State, even with um Coach Hughes being here at Jackson State. We want him to be in the space where he is number one in all of our hearts and number one, basically number one in Jackson State, number one in the SWAC. But my whole thing about this ain't is he going. We don't know until he says so. Whenever he puts it out there, like I said, it's either he'll accept this resignation from Jackson State and he'll go on to coach at whatever school he accepts an offer from, or B, he would rescind all those offers and stay at Jackson State for at least one more year, or 2 more years, or we don't know how long he'll be at Jackson State. We don't. We all don't know how long he'll be at Jackson State. But right now, his main focus is getting his kids prepared for Saturday against Southern University for the SWAC Championship game. That is his sole goal. That is his main thing that he wants to have happen this week. He wants to make sure that his kids are prepared for the championship game against Southern. He also wants to make sure that that this does not distract his kids from what they are, possibly going to do if they can accomplish that on Saturday afternoon. And what I mean by that is to finish. We've already, Jackson State have already finished the season 11-0. We've already finished. Oh my goodness, my wife thought, yeah, you said it right one out, 12-0. Nah, but we finished the regular season at 11-0. We also, we also want to win the SWAC championship again for the second year in a row, but we also want to keep it undefeated. And that's the thing that we're looking at. We want to basically become Black nationals. That's all it is. That's what it is. Basically win the SWAC, win the championship, go to the Celebration Bowl, win the Celebration Bowl, become become Black national champions, and to be undefeated doing it. Nobody can take that away from these kids. Nobody can take that away from him. I just feel like, that is his main goal. We need to stop with the well, if he goes, he goes. Look, it all begins and ends with Coach Prime. That's all I say. It all begins and ends with Coach Prime. Coach wants to, if he's, like I said, if he's going to stay, he will say, I'm not taking an offer to such and such school. I'm staying at Jackson State University. I have a job to do. We have a job to finish. If he goes, he will say, I accept my resignation from Jackson State. I'm accepting a position at such and such school, effective Can you hear me? Okay. Can y'all see me? Like I said, um, basically, am I good, y'all? Okay. I had to change the definition. What up, Sonic Boom? Hey, I'm just letting my whole thing. Like I said, if he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. Say if he stays, that is a win for Jackson State. If he goes, that I won't say that's a win. That's a blow for Jackson State. But I just know this. My whole thing about this is I know Ashley not stupid enough to not have a plan going into play. You don't think he's on the phone calling people to try to figure out who gonna take who gonna take control of this freight train that we have that's Jackson State football, and what Coach Prime has built since he got here in the spring of 2021. So to me, it's all about, like I said, it's all about if he's going to stay, if he's going to go. The ones that wants to, and I feel like this, the ones that want him to leave are the ones that he has beaten the brakes off of. You know, people like, yeah, I'm waiting for him to leave. He ain't did nothing for the SWAC. He ain't did this. He ain't did that. I mean, he has done a lot for the conference, and he didn't even have to say too much of a word. He didn't have to do too much of anything. It's just his presence being in the conference has brought the notoriety of the conference back up. I'm just saying, just like that, point blank. His presence of being in the conference and being at Jackson State has brought the notoriety of the SWAC back to where it was before we went into the doldrums. Okay? So for those people that's hating and that's wanting him to actually leave out of the program, I mean, what's it going to be? I mean, I just feel like this. Maybe y'all need to step y'all game up. I'm just saying. Maybe y'all need to step your game up. Maybe everybody needs to step their game up and try to get, you know what I'm saying? Try to ride that wave. And that's all it is. Like, ride the wave, man. He giving us all this publicity, all the clout, everything. Ride the wave. Don't resist it. Ride the wave. A lot of people are doing it. And if your school is the ones that he has beaten the brakes off of, basically just get better talent. Get better talent. Let me see who this is, man. Let me see who this is. What's going on, Brian?
How you been, man?
Brian got his JSN State merch on today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother.
His JSN State merch, man. Look, I've already told him, like, the Black Friday, my Black Friday experience this year, it was okay, but I don't think it went well for me.
Oh, man,
I really wanted to this week. I wanted that weekend to be over with.
Yeah, man. Retail people don't understand. If you're not in retail, man, Black Friday is just crazy.
It is, but yeah. What do you think about? Give me your perspective on, is he staying or is he going?
Well, you know what? With everything that's been going on, and it seemed like every other week a new team's popping up and offering him a contract, making an offer to Coach Prime. Here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I always listen to what people say, and he always said God called him to Jackson State, and so he answered the phone collect. Remember, he said he answered the phone collect, and he's paying, and he said he's paying a heavy price for it. So the price is the debt paid, or is it partial? Is it still on layaway? So if it's still on layaway, then he's going to continue on. He also said that he would be a fool not to entertain offers. Is he entertaining offers?
That's correct.
Yes, obviously he is. But only thing is, I just don't want people to get misconstrued of the whole situation. He said he always keeps the main thing. That's winning this Saturday. The only thing that I see that I hope does not get in the way is now potential all these high-level recruits that might want to come to Jackson State. Is this a roadblock or a hesitation for them to say, whoa, let me really dive into this situation, and before I make a commitment, what's the deal? Dion's always been upfront, 100% trans. He said he's transparent. So far, he has been. So I always go what a man says. So far, he has been. Another thing that I was looking at too is why I don't understand. I understand Carl Reed broke the story a couple of weeks ago, but why are they breaking it now? let the guy play his. I understand news media 24/7. The cycle, they always got to put something in, so it makes it active. But why couldn't they wait until after the championship game, or if they win, or after the Celebration Bowl? Then you're gonna have another news cycle where it's a dead period in college football until the bowl games hit. But to do this, and as older people, we can handle things. But younger people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little skepticism goes into their mind. The thought process of saying, is he here? Is he stay? But here's what people don't understand that I learned. I don't think he's going for the simple reason Shiloh can't transfer.
Shiloh can't transfer. He
You
had to
know,
sit out.
that's right. He has to sit out because he waived his transfer, whatever it is. You know what I mean? His
Yeah.
clearance, whatever, to come to Jackson
But he
State.
has a COVID.
So
But he has an extra year because he has a COVID year because he
that's
did
right.
play during
And,
COVID season.
and so, in saying that, he has a daughter there. I
Hmm.
don't see him going. I don't see him going to the Pac-12 because that conference dying. That conference is dying. So what it does for me, and it enables the people of Jackson. The I know AD Robertson. You know what I mean. I have a bunch of respect for him. He brought in Dion. You know what I mean. So even though prime time will always be prime time, but no
Yeah.
colleges were willing to give him an opportunity. Ashley Robinson did. Everything's turned around. Now, the municipality, as far as collecting the revenue, over $30 million last year. You know what I mean? It's time to give something
Yeah.
back to the university. Uh, what's big? Coach Prime's biggest complaints: the water issue. The water issue. They got to
The
do
water,
something about that. You know. So it's the housing. So there's things that could be done, and that's why I said his mission, in my opinion only. I'm not speaking for the man or have no other knowledge of just what I'm hearing and different reports that I've seen. I don't know what he's going to do. I only wish Coach
right.
Prime the very best. He's a man of God. He's a man of faith, and so that his faith will lead him in the right direction. And I, as a JSU fan, as I'm wearing my JSU sweatshirt, I know I believe in my heart of hearts he will stay. But the only thing I think um, he's a lot smarter in different marketing aspects than I am. But I just hope he doesn't leverage this to a way where it might hurt recruiting at this point in time.
Now, now you did bring up something that I don't think nobody has talked about. You did bring up that because Colorado is part of the Pac-12, right? The Pac-12 is pretty much dying. The Pac-12 is pretty much in the same situation that the Big 12 was in when, in fact, Colorado left to go to the Pac-12. You had Nebraska and you had Nebraska going to the Big Ten. You had Missouri and Texas A&M going to the SEC. Then you remember they had to dig deep to try to find other teams to replace these teams that left, and they ended up with TCU and they ended up with West Virginia. And it's funny to me when it can't come down to it that I'm talking strictly kind of like Big 12, right? Big 12 did not even want TCU or the University of Houston or even Rice to come into the conference. University of Texas, with their bullying ways, told them that they're not joining the Big 12 unless these schools don't come. And guess what happened? They relented and they didn't come. Now Texas is leaving to go into the SEC along with Oklahoma, and guess what? The Big 12 had to bring in other schools to make sure that they are keep status to stay relevant. Let's remember that because they bring in a beat mainly is an independent. You know what I'm saying? They are a football independent. They brought in a University of Houston that they shunned over almost 20 30 years ago. Also bringing in Cincinnati and UCF coming in from the AAC. Like, one thing about Colorado is, if you haven't been, what's going on, Clyde? If you haven't been Colorado, the University of Colorado in Boulder, phenomenal campus, lovely campus, like literally. Come on in, Sean. Literally lovely campus. You know what I'm saying? Like, the campus, you know, it just pictures the campus, and they, you know, it's a lovely campus. But the thing about what I'm saying is, what's going on? What's going on, Clyde? But the thing about it is that it's dying. You know what I'm saying, Brian?
Does he really? Does he really want to go to a team that's
So
what were they, 3-12 or something like that?
there was 1-11. They was like
I
1-10 or something like that.
I gave them 2 more
I don't know
victories.
I don't know. Let me check. Let me make sure. Let me see what they was last season. I mean, this season. But my whole thing about this is, like, they wasn't good. My whole thing about this the Pac-12 is dying. I wouldn't want to go there because, first of all, you're not gonna have nobody to play.
No.
USC and UCLA are going to the Big Ten. There's talks about what was that? There's talks about, like, the Oregon schools going somewhere else. There was talks about UW going somewhere else. There were talks about the 2 Arizona schools, Arizona and Arizona State, you know, finding somewhere else to go. Like, you have that, like, you literally have nothing. Like, you're basically going into purgatory at Colorado.
Yeah.
They was 1-11, bro. They was 1-11. 1-11.
Yeah.
You're
It's like
pretty much going into purgatory in Colorado. What's going on, Sean?
Not much, chilling, bro. I ain't want to break the bill, man. What up, B? What up? What's good, man? I ain't seen you in a couple days.
Well, I'm back at work, Sean, and it's been busy and retail. You know what I mean? It's crazy busy now, man.
Yeah, but look, man. I look at it like this, bro. Um, this how I want to say this in the most respectful way. All right, so I got an opportunity to talk to my cousin during Thanksgiving. He couldn't come home because he's at LSU. He's a recruiting coordinator. So when I had the opportunity to really talk to him, and I said this before, but just his ability to be able to do his job, look at all 4 of his screens, look at the transfer portal, booking flights, eyes on specific people in the portal. They're not looking for non SEC caliber top tier talent. They're looking at pick of the litter, who has the highest grades in FCS. They're looking at grades, and then they're looking at film and see if they all equate. There are things that these schools can do. One in particular, what my cousin and them are doing, because that's the closest thing that I have that can make an argument for why even be enticed by a Power 5. And it is the level of recruiting at a high rank. Like, what I mean by that is they have a designated group of guys. My cousin has guys that's under him because he runs all the recruiting. They set up all the flights for coaches, right?
Yeah.
When they need to get a coach in to close a deal, they're sending Kelly. They're sending these the D coordinators and things of that nature. Like, they know who they're sending, and they have to live on these private jets. JSU don't have the ability to do that, to recruit at the level that they need to. Yeah, granted that is Jackson State and they don't have to get to that. But in order to make that jump to FBS, those are the disadvantages that comes with that. Now, Colorado. Black people really don't like Colorado, although weed is legal in Colorado, but they don't really want to go there and be snowed in Colorado. There's a lot of traps in Colorado. And what I mean by traps, I'm talking about circumstances that can put you underneath the jail in Colorado. And you know what I mean? It's the Pac-12, and you're right. You got teams that are booking. They're leaving the conferences to go join these super conferences and get up out of Dodge. However, you can see that as a gift too, because that means you'll have a Power 5 job, right? You'll have a Power 5 job with a lot of vacancy there, which you could be the cream of the crop there, and it will make you look good there. However, from studying Coach Prime, we know that it's at the end of the day, it's business. It's never personal for him. So you have to understand that right, it's never going to be personal because his heart will always be in a place that he deemed, who gave him his start. So I think that whatever decision he makes after the SWAC championship game, because the FBS players jump in the portal on that Monday, December 5th. FCS players are already in the portal. FBS players are jumping in the portal on December 5th. The portal opens up for them. Now, I got that from my cousin, so people don't think that I'm crazy saying the portal is open for FCS players right now, player. FBS on that Monday.
Right now, that's why a lot of FCS. Yeah, that's why I left FCS players like my guys, my young bull Isaias Guthrie from Delaware State. He jumped in on Monday. Got a receiver from Texas A&M Commerce. I think his name is Anthony.
And let me tell you something. LSU ain't looking at none of them.
Oh,
I'm gonna say it again. LSU ain't looking at none of them. LSU looking at the number one FCS player, and he a tight end. My cousin told me the number one player in FCS is a tight end.
From where? North Dakota State?
No. I forget the school that he actually said. But I'm pretty sure if I brought it up, Blue will know exactly, because it's not one of them higher knowledgeable schools. I even think that his season is done with. But the point is, to answer your question, that question, does he do anything?
Yeah.
If he stays, bro, he's staying for another year or two. But I don't see him just up and going, because he has to negotiate a way in for, where can his daughter in the most stable place if he's not there no more? You see what I'm saying? Like, as far as being able to, she'll be able to handle her own down here and yada, yada, yada. She'll be away from school, but she really want to be with me. And then now they ain't gonna have no scholarship for her. It's different level. You know what I'm saying? It's different level. So you have to take all of that into account, man. Deion Sanders Jr., what role does he have? Of course, you started a facility. You got a social media team. He heads up the social media team along with a few other people, and they've been doing a magnificent job for you. You can continue that at Power 5 level. You know why? Because you can get rid of all the people that's in there now, and you can do it your way because it's more successful, and you got more money that you can dedicate to the program, which also pays Deion Jr. You can get your other sons looks, but it all comes. I'm just telling y'all right now, if no one should be mad at whatever decision he makes. If he makes the decision to stay, you cherish him, because now you know that it's shorter than now. You might have him another season, or you might have him for 2 more years. Unless Ashley Robinson and them have something underneath. And he's been really quiet. Unless they're thinking about elevating Jackson State and going for the funding to be an FBS program, whether it be independent or in a conference, more than likely in a conference, because independently they would actually need more support from Black people, right, to bring that program up like that, because they can't compete with a Notre Dame. Notre Dame's the most known independent, and
they got that church money.
Yeah, and they got church money. So you can't really compete with, but you'll be able to compete with those other independent. Pull up the independent conference and look at the teams in there.
But Sean, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think the long I think hold on. I think the long game is, and I said it. He's elevating his program to elevate to a different conference, and I think that's a long game. And I think you're 100% right. I don't think it will be independent because it'll be too much money, because they don't have the money. But I think the joining another conference, like you were saying, I think that's the long game. Because what did he say to compete? He needs to build on the offensive line, defensive line, and you're not doing that just for the SWAC. You're doing that for another conference. That's what I'm reading into it. And like you said, there's too many moving pieces for him to just leave right now to go to another school. There's just too many. Shiloh can't go. Like you said, where's his daughter? Shador's not going to transfer right away. You know what I mean? Travis is not going to transfer, so he's not going to get a lot of those players. Yes, he have more money available, but he always said, I always listen to what somebody says. He always said it's not about the money; it's about getting more money for who? His assistants.
Coaches. Yeah, but listen, did you read a tweet? I think there was a tweet that he said, "If God ain't in it, I don't want it." He did that. He posted that on his social media pages.
Yeah.
Over the Thanksgiving break. Although Colorado think they made him a hell of an offer, he might not look at that offer like, you know what, I know that I'm going to boost you up, but I really need to get these coaches paid. My coaches deserve, $600,000 contracts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know at least I got to get 3 or 4 of them that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that I hate to say this, but Bartolone isn't a $600,000 coordinator just yet.
No.
Right?
No.
Because think about what he's doing right now.
Give him about 2 more years.
Exactly. That's my thing. That's my thing. He has to develop into that. When Bartolone come off the sideline and go in the booth and he can see the whole field and really get to it, it's going to be a different game. Right now, he's on the sideline. He needs to be in a booth. He needs to be in a booth where he actually can see the moving pieces. And he can, and when they doing those check with me's on the sideline, he can call the right play right now and then anticipate something. You know what I mean? Like the ball should be going left, but the blitz is coming there. The blitz is coming from the right. We need to go hot. There's got to be, more communication. And I know that's why he on the sideline right now, because he's still trying to, he not only be on the same page with Shador, but in real time, get those plays in or get those signals in to let him know, hey, look. You know what I mean? But hey, man, I like his coaching staff. I think he has a Power 5 level coaching staff, and he could do more with a couple more people.
I think this staff was better this season than what he had last season when he had Jason Phillips and him and Michael Pollard being co-office coordinators. I didn't like that, and I didn't like the offense that Jason Phillips was trying to run with Shador, it wasn't an air raid offense. It was more of a run and shoot type offense. And then the lineman, I think the offensive lineman that we had last season was not. I don't think all of them had their head on straight.
They were terrible
when it came.
They was makeshift. That was a makeshift line, bro. The truth of the matter is,
it was a patchwork line. Yeah,
that shit was trash.
Yeah,
that's why you don't have old boy starting, which he should be 6'7", 330. He could play tackle, he could play guard, but his attitude and his He just gonna be Shador bodyguard for the rest of his life,
It
bro.
was trash. Man, let me tell you, I saw on Saturday. It was a kid. I promise you. I think he either turned 18 or 19, but he goes to Tyler Junior College out here in East Texas, and he's on the team. Offensive lineman, tackle. This dude is 6'8". He said, "How much you weigh?" I'm about to tip at 340. What? I'm talking about. I looked at his huddle, and he came from a small high school, in East Texas, Timpson. Is a little small town. It's called Timpson. It's probably about 30 minutes outside of Nacogdoches. And hey, Mr. Ford, what's on? Make sure connect your. Somebody tell Mr. Ford to his just the microphone on your phone, Mr. Ford. Connect your. Okay. I got a special story in the show on the show. Mr. Ford, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I tried to get in the other night, but you know I'm not tech savvy, man. Can you hear me?
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. Let's see. I've been trying to
All right.
get in on this subject here. Y'all talking about Dion. Let me just say this first and foremost. I don't care if Dion go to Colorado. Colorado is one of the worst programs in this country. Dion can't bring Colorado back. Now, this thing is actually bigger than Dion. See, what this is about, the white power structure is offering Dion a ugly white girl by the name of the Colorado Buffaloes to get. See, what they're afraid of right now is they know this getting ready to happen. Not only is Jackson State getting ready to get these top athletes like they get now, fam, you gonna get them. Southern is going to get them. Prairie View is going to get them. Tennessee State
Alabama
is going
State.
to get them. Because, see, y'all got to understand, ever since Trump came into office, there's 30% of our people who have woken up and decided they want to be with their own people. They want to be in their own culture. I'm like, brother, I don't know your name. I see the picture of you right here. You are absolutely correct. I don't have a problem with Dion going, Coach Prime going to Colorado. But I'm going to say this. What he's doing at Jackson State is not going to transfer. He's not going to have the success that he's having at Jackson State at Colorado. I'm going to say this again. They offering him the ugly girl to see if he going to bite. But I'm going to tell you this. If he continues to be at Jackson State in the next 3 years, he'll get that SEC offer. They playing him now. Don't nobody want Colorado and don't nobody want South Florida. If South Florida wanted something, go get Willie Taggart. That's the last time you had a decent program. Listen, Colorado ain't been nothing since Gary Barnett. That's been 30 years ago. Listen, man. Listen to me carefully. Colorado and the University of South Florida, their brand is not as big as Jackson State. Jackson State brand now is right there with Alabama. Now, Alabama spends $180 million on athletics. Jackson State spends a little under $10 million. But when it comes to what people are looking at, listen, I got cousins in Maryland. They keep up with Jackson State every day. I got cousins in San Diego, California. They keep up with Jackson State every day. Jackson State is hot. HBCUs right now, the SWAC, we're in a golden era. Now, if he wants to go to Colorado, he can go to Colorado. But let me tell y'all something. Them boys like Travis Hunter, they done been down there in Jackson, Mississippi, and them people love them. They not leaving. I don't care what y'all say. They not leaving. Because let me tell you, ain't no love for them in Boulder, Colorado. Ain't no love for them. Now, y'all know that right outside of that was Columbine. You remember Columbine?
And that's where Kobe got in trouble up in Colorado.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, now. Okay. But listen, he can go if he want to. Because let me tell you something. You know, I'm from South Georgia. They used to have an old saying back in the day now, one monkey don't stop no show. Because what's happening at Jackson State, that's going to continue to happen. That's going to continue to happen. I know I'm doing too much talking about. Bro, you got any questions for me? You want to ask me anything?
Yeah, Mr. Ford. What I'm about to say, because I know you're a Grambling alum, right?
Yeah.
what do you think about Grambling as far as what you saw from the Bayou Classic? And what do you think they're gonna do as far as for next season? What do you think that Hugh Jackson needs to do for next season? Turn your TV down, your volume down, your TV.
Oh, hey, can you wait a minute? I got two things up. Let me turn my other one off here. I got two things. All right, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you something, baby.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. After Saturday's game, the honeymoon is over. Listen, I know the Robinson family. I'm telling you, I know Coach Robinson's grandchildren. I've met Doug Williams. I've met Shaq Harris. I've met all that crew. Let me tell you something. They up in arms. They up in arms. Now, one thing I want you to understand, President Gallows, I knew his mother. She was the head of the social science program when I was there. She was a PhD. She was a brilliant woman. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought he quit on them at the end of the game. I really did. I hate to say that, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I thought he'd quit. Now, he reminds me of Chan Gailey. Chan Gailey came here and was coach of Georgia Tech. He brought in a lot of outstanding players, but his players would quit on him. And so the people at Georgia Tech got rid of him and brought the coach from Georgia Southern here, Paul Johnson. He took Chan Gailey's players and won the ACC. And so I'm going to tell you right now,
yeah, I remember that.
I believe if they get rid of Hugh and bring in Shennis Berry, they win the SWAC. Because I saw some stuff. I'm trying to be as nice as I can. I saw a lot of stuff I didn't like Saturday. The main thing I saw on Grambling's team, we're not disciplined. And that was a staple of Eddie Robinson's program, was you had to be disciplined. I saw one player get 3 penalties. One player, he was number one. He's wearing number one. He got 3 penalties. That would have never happened on the Coach Robinson. So I'm not happy with what I saw Saturday. But I'm gonna say this now: the honeymoon is over. Now I'm gonna say this: I like what I saw out of Calvez. Is that the same Calvez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Personally, I thought he should have been redshirt. I've said it on many shows that I've been on. You can't tell me that Calvez and that Hawkins kid were the best 2 quarterbacks on Grambling's campus. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. Nobody can tell me that. I don't think that Calvez kid, I think he should have been redshirted. And that other kid, that Hawkins kid, I didn't even get why they was playing him.
I have a question for you, Mr. Ford.
Okay, come on.
Mr. Ford, what do you think with all the everything that was going around Grambling? I thought personally they should have rode the wave and kept Art Briles.
Yeah, you just heard the story. Have y'all heard about Art Briles?
No, sir.
The word is now Art Briles is getting ready to go to Liberty University. Now, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
If he's good enough for Liberty University, why we ran him away? I didn't understand
You shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't understand. Because one thing I saw with Coach Hugh Jackson calling the play said he's too impatient. Now, he missed his biggest coaching opportunity Saturday night when the young man threw the pick six and the guy went in the end zone and did his little Kappa thing. Instead of him consoling that kid, he let that kid run off the field. See, let me tell you something. When I was coaching, one thing I realized about coaches, you got coaches who are for their players and you got coaches who are for themselves. Yeah. Personally, what I saw Saturday, Coach Jackson is for himself. Because I would never forget in 1982, when Georgetown lost to North Carolina in New Orleans for the NCAA championship, a boy named Freddie Brown, he threw the pass to James Worthy, which sealed the victory for North Carolina. As soon as that game was over, Big John Thompson grabbed and hugged him to let him know I still love you and we coming back. Hugh didn't do that Saturday night. He didn't console that kid. And you got to always build your players up. So I'm going to say this again. Now, this is me talking. He doesn't strike me as a guy for his players. He strikes me as a guy for himself.
I think personally, the way Hugh Jackson coaches, I've been watching a lot of the Grambling games that I've been catching on the HBCU Go. And Hugh just doesn't look like he wants to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of, you know what? I think he's out of place. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's an
Yeah.
NFL guy, or maybe at a, could go back on the West Coast at a Southern Cal, because we need a special kind of coach down here. You're talking about kids who've been beaten down all their lives, and we need coaches who can build our kids up. That's what Coach Eddie Robinson did. That's what W.C. Gordon did. That's what Big John Merritt did. That's what Billy Nix did. They built them players up. Huh? I don't see that in him. I don't see that in him.
Man, so we're gonna Ms. Ford, can you stay on for a little bit more? We're gonna
Yeah,
talk
I can
about
stay
this
on. Yeah.
Okay. So everybody knows Saturday, 3:00, ESPN2. All right, ESPN2. That's the game for Saturday. SWAC Championship game, Southern versus Jackson State, Part 2. We're gonna get into. I'm just gonna go ahead. We're gonna try to get this kind of like a preview and do a little bit more talking, because tomorrow I'm gonna do a film breakdown. Hopefully I don't get I don't get copyrighted. But I'm gonna do a field breakdown for tomorrow. So first person we gonna look at, man, is Bashawn Cray. And I already know, Mr. Ford, you have no reservations for this guy right here.
No,
but
I continue to say he's not the best quarterback on Southern's campus, and it's just that one thing about Coach Dooley. I love Coach Dooley, but he doesn't make adjustments.
And so of course, McCray, he passing for over, I think, like almost 59 for the season. Over a little bit over 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He is, to me, iffy when it comes to his decision making. We've seen that. I've seen it up close and personal. When I went to go see them play Texas Southern here in Dallas, and his decision making was not the best when he's under pressure. And sometimes the pressure's not even there either. So I look at it like you're 5'11".
Right.
And you're to me, I guess, like I say, let's say it like this. He was in high school. He was that athlete that when he was on his high school team, he was that athlete that the coach just put him on there and say, hey, just go do the job.
Yeah.
He was the best athlete on the team.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's in college and it's bigger than that now. See, all DT's going to do to him and what Coach Prime's going to do to him, they're going to stack the line with 7 and 8 people. And he ain't going to be able to do all that running. They're going to spy him with 2. And then what they're going to tell him to do is, we want to see, can you throw the ball downfield? He can't do it. He'll throw that what we call the seam pad, but running patterns and that kind of stuff, he's not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, he's a one read and run kind of quarterback.
There you go. Excellent. That's right. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and I like I said, I told Brian, I said when I saw the game against Texas when they played Texas Southern, for him to throw those 3 picks that he did early in the game, I'm like, I'm shaking my head, and I'm sitting next to my wife. My wife was like, she's like, oh baby, he ain't that dude. He ain't that dude.
Go.
And so also, let me just say it like that, he's also the leading rusher. So, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
642 yards as your leading rusher, that I can't see that, because like I said, he's an athlete playing quarterback. He's more of a running back playing quarterback.
Right.
The thing that we all know is this. Only way Southern has a chance if Jackson beats himself. If Jackson comes to play, there's no hope in hell for Southern. The only thing is, it's hard. It is, Mr. Ford, you know much better than I do, sir. It's hard to beat a team twice if they're confident enough. But you say with Coach Dooley, he has a mindset that he doesn't change. He doesn't adjust well. He doesn't adjust. Not doesn't adjust well. He doesn't adjust. For him not adjusting, so basically you have the film. Coach Prime is geared up. Only thing,
Uh-oh. I
Did
think
we
Brian,
lose him?
I think we lost him. He'll probably come back in. I'm gonna send him his invite
Well,
again.
can I add this? See, they talked to the commissioner today, and one of the things that they omitted is that in the SWAC, we have got to have a commitment to bringing in quality championship coaches. One of the problems down at Southern University right now, that staff is not a quality or championship staff. Now, for about 6 minutes.
yeah, we lost Mr. Ford. They lost
Uh-oh.
me too.
Lost Mr. Ford. Uh-oh. Mr. Ford, come back on, man. Oh my goodness.
Hey, real quick. If y'all think Bashan eyes was big that last game that he played against Jackson State, they are about to get bigger because you have a defensive line, right? You got some players on that defensive line whose mindset and attitude is like, I'm going stupid this game. I'm talking about they getting off the ball. We finna do this, that, and the third. Like they are really trying to set a true tone. And it's gonna cause some problems. Now, if Shador comes out, up tempo, pace, on the ball, getting the playoff, looking to run more plays than before, like he started the Alcorn game, but just being a little bit more efficient, it's a wrap.
Don't hold the ball. And don't hold the ball.
Now he knows that he ain't holding the ball because he got something he got something to prove this game. And
yeah,
if this offense is on track, boy, I'm saying by the second quarter, I'm saying it's not gonna be like halftime with a score. They come back from halftime and it's some more separate. No, by the second quarter, we're gonna see what Southern made of. Now we know they ain't gonna quit. Their coach ain't gonna let them quit. They gonna come in and fight. This defense ain't gonna bow down. But the receivers, as long as the receivers catching the ball, making their plays, you know what I'm saying? As long as they opening up holes, Wilkerson doing his thing, there's not really many adjustments that Southern can make, right? It's like, all right, we can shut this down and we can take this option away. Shador gonna go somewhere else with the ball, or they're gonna play action you or make you do some things. So you take advantage of Southern's weaknesses, and Southern weaknesses right now is their defensive ends don't really contain well, and you only got one D tackle that's truly getting a push. So now you need to make it known what you're gonna do. You got a quick game. You got to hit your skinny post. You got to hit your seam routes. Challenge them deep, push them back. You know what I'm saying? Make them honor that. But you cannot let 4 stop the run.
Hey, see about Mr. Ford up in here so we can get him back on the show, man.
Man, Mr. Ford was on his cell phone, got a text message or a call, and when he clicked over, it kicked him up off the StreamYard, and he gonna have a hell of a time trying to figure out how to get back on the StreamYard.
But yeah, man. But look, would you think it's gonna be somebody they're gonna change up some stuff for this game right here?
Yes, trick plays, misdirection. Special teams gonna try some trick plays. They're gonna do some
kicks.
Yeah, they're gonna do some quick game, like some slot receiver screens. They're gonna try to screen game JSU early. Let's see if we can, you know what I mean. Let's do some hard counts. Let's change the snap up. You know what I mean? Let's try to get outside. No, we know we can't get outside. Let's get off tackle. We can't get off tackle. Let's get between the tackles and let's hit it hard. Let's do more QB runs. Let's not make Bashan have to think too much and let it come natural. But then I also think that you're going to see the other quarterback. He's going to be inserted into this game a lot sooner. What does that mean?
McDaniels or Blood?
Bubba.
Okay, Bubba. Okay.
I
Bubba.
think that we're going. I think we're going to have a Bubba site in this game.
Okay,
For real.
you need him. He
I
really
think that-
needs to start.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I like
I-
the blood kid. I like that blood kid. He can throw the ball.
Hey,
I think we might
Bud
see
is
both of them in the
athletic, though,
game
too.
at the same time.
You're going to see everybody.
And
They
by the
have
way,
nothing to lose.
anybody, what's going on with Body, the kid that came from New York that transferred from Grambling? Any reports on him?
I think he redshirted this season.
Okay, all right, okay.
So we go next person on the thing, Jason Dumas. Hey, he didn't play too much this season. He didn't play a whole full season. So you see as far as his stats go, 16 total tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. I say this, if Jason Dumas was healthy majority of the season, I think the stats that you see right here on the screen will be much higher.
Yeah. Now, I'm of the belief that they misused him. See, Jason Dumas is the kind of defensive lineman, you move him all over the place. You don't just keep him at one position. And one of the things that Southern upset me with this year on defense, they're too vanilla. They are too vanilla. For the talent they got, the depth they got, they should be doing the same thing the University of Georgia is doing. They should be using 20 to 25 players on defense because they got that kind of personnel. I keep telling people, Jackson State got the best personnel. Southern's number 2.
Yeah.
Southern's number 2.
So I say it like this: when Dumas was at Prairie View, Coach McDowell moved him all around that defensive line.
Right.
So he didn't play, one technique, 2, 3 technique. He was nose guard, nose tackle. He played DN. Like he was all over that line. So you had to attain for number 1 on the field on defense at all times because you didn't know which way he was coming from.
Right.
But now you know where he's at. He's right there playing that 1 D tackle spot, and he's not getting too much of a push, or he's not moving around. He's not being moved around by the defensive coordinator. So,
and the other thing I want you to remember, one of the things I have a problem with Southern is that they play their defense. They play their linebackers on the heel instead of bringing them downhill. When you got a kid like Dumas, you bring your linebackers downhill, but they play their linebackers back on the heel. Listen, Buddy Ryan changed that years ago.
Yeah,
you don't do that. You bring your linebackers.
Yeah. And, so we're going to switch over to Jackson State. So we already know Shador. Shador passing over for a little bit over 70%. A little bit over 70% passing. 32 touchdowns, which is a school record now, and 6 interceptions.
And all those interceptions that Shador thrown, not one DB made a great play to make an interception. So those are basically mental lapses on his part. So imagine if, you know what I mean, in that little glimpse of mental lapses, he had a phenomenal season. He would even had a better season.
Now, one thing I've said all year long on some other shows, Dallas Daniels is what we used to call a flanker. He's a Z. Yeah. But they're trying to play him at the X and the Y.
X.
He's not a split end. He's not a split end. He's a Z. He's some people call it the slot receiver. But that's the other reason I don't understand why we still ain't seen Malachi Wideman more.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Thank you, Mr. Ford.
No, Brian,
I've been screaming about him all year.
My guy Brian been asking about Malachi Wideman for the whole season.
He ain't got the offense down, man.
But
he ain't got the offense down, bro. He only running like 3 routes. Have y'all not seen him? It's either going to be a go, an end cut, or a stop.
But he's a natural split end. That's what to me they miss.
No, I agree, Mr. Ford. I agree.
And the other thing, look like they cutting down. Isn't that kid named Willie Gaines? What's that little kid name?
Willie Gaines.
Look like they're cutting down on him a little bit.
He lost some confidence.
Yeah, because he's a big play kid. He's a big play kid.
Yeah, I think that they're going to get back into that though. I think they did kind of slow down their rotation because we need to see more speed on the field. But the thing about it is that like Powers can he's fast. He actually can run. Now he did drop a touchdown pass against Southern the last game.
I think
Had
he did.
caught that, he would have walked right into the end zone.
Right.
So I think Jackson State can come back to a play like that. But you think about it, they were playing with them safeties, trying to bring them down in the box to help stop the run. And the safety ran up and then tried to turn around and run back. And Powers ran right by him and was wide open. Like you're going to have those deep posts, the skinny posts, the 15-yard digs. You're going to have all of that. But I agree with you, Mr. Ford. I think I like to see Dallas Daniels back in the slot. Him in the slot.
And Coleman.
And Coleman in the slot, and then bring Malachi in and bring and have Shane in and attack them that way. Because when you see Malachi in the game, the DB starts going back because they expected him to run a deep route, and then they give Dallas Daniels all the room in the world to work the safety or the cornerback however he wants to, outside, inside, slants, post. He got every route, and Coleman too.
I want to give credit to those tight ends this year. You know, that was one of the things I was fussing about last year was like tight end production. Them tight ends have stepped up this year. I love the tight end play this year.
Coach Brewer.
DJ Stevens is a guy.
Yeah, he's a man. DJ is a man. Now, what happened to the kid that came in from Marshall? Remember, it was a kid. He looked good in the first game, but I didn't see him too much. Did he get hurt?
He got hurt a little bit, but he's back. He should be back for this.
I like both of them. I like both of them. I really like when Shadua has those tight ends on the field because he can pass it, but then they got so much power because you talk sometimes they got 7 offensive linemen when you got them 2 tight ends.
And they can chip and go and run seam routes.
Right. There you go. There you go.
And then also, if you really think about it too, you can use one of those tight ends as an H-back for blocking for this person right here.
Yeah.
Savion. Savion is a godsend for Jackson State.
Oh yeah. But listen, God, you know I didn't know. You know, Delaware State fired their coach. Was it today or yesterday?
Today. I read. I read.
I was kind of shocked about that.
Yeah.
That was a knee-jerk move. Move.
That's what I thought too. Because I thought they were kind of improving.
He's been with them for almost 15 years.
Yeah, he's a graduate, right? I know he played for the 49ers because he was with Jerry Rice and John Taylor because that's John Taylor's school too. John Taylor's from Delaware State. Yeah, but you know, it's kind of interesting up there with Delaware. See, Delaware State has to get their kids out of Philly, DC, that area up in there. That's where they have to get those kind of kids.
Let's see, Savion Wilkinson, man, look, he's a godsend. Ran for over 1,000 yards. Now I can't say this. I'm gonna say this. I won't say he's the first 1,000-yard rusher we had since Destry Wright, but he's the first 1,000-yard rusher I think since we had Tanaka Counselor.
Right, I remember Tanaka. Yeah.
Tanaka Counselor ran for 1,000 yards after Destry left. So Nathan, his name slips my mind every time, but he played on Jackson State. He was there with in 2000, 2001. So he was with Robert Kent. And actually with T.C. Taylor too. Nathan McLaurin. He was a 1,000-yard rusher too. But just for him to come down here and for him to have 3 years left for playing time.
Yeah.
Is a godsend because we had Peyton Pickett, and I'm not gonna throw no disrespect to Peyton Pickett, but you're 5'9", you're 225 pounds, sir. I need you to run inside. You are that big. You need to run inside. Why does it take a guy like Savion, who's only like 205, 210, soaking wet, he can run inside, outside, like? he can run east-west, he can run north-south. Like, why did it take us to get this guy right here? We could have had that guy last season in Pickett. But again, like you said too, the offensive line was terrible.
Y'all upgraded that offensive line totally.
Yeah.
Now, them guys, you got a couple of guys on your offensive line. I'm not saying they're gonna be drafted, but they'll get a shot. I can see them as free agent. You didn't have that last year.
No, last year's offensive line was trash.
Yeah, it was.
Hot garbage.
The one that I wanted to run out of there was Cedric Dunbar. I used to want to run him out, watching him on TV. He was awful. He was awful.
Oh, man. But, like, just getting the offensive line, and I should have put the offensive lineman on here, too, because they have been a difference maker for this team, for the offensive production that we put up now, because we couldn't get that last season because we didn't have that push on the line. We you know, is other than that, Shedeur was still running for his life. They did a little bit better on pass blocking. They still have some tendencies where they have mental lapses when it comes to pass blocking. But main thing is the run blocking. The run blocking is like, look, man, if you over 300 pounds, you are a bulldozer. You are a road grader. I need you to run over somebody, give me a pancake here or there, and let my guy right here get 4, 5, 6, 7 yards.
Right.
It would have been nice to see what's his name didn't leave the program at the beginning of the year. Sammy Matola, what's his name? It would have been nice if he would have stayed.
Kid was from Utah somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's right, sir.
Yeah. Now, let me just say this. The other thing that has helped that offensive line was the addition of that Tim Brewster. Isn't that his name? The guy that...
Yes, sir. The tight end coach.
Yeah. He has really helped that offense. Because now I'm going to be honest with you. The weakest coach on Deion's staff is that offensive line coach. He's the weakest coach on the staff. He's the weakest coach on the staff. And with bringing in Brewster, helped him out a lot. And then you got players that made him look good. But to me, he's the weakest coach on that staff. Now, I know he has.
Bruce, man, and he said, like, he's seen, like, just the play of the offensive line turn a 180. I don't know. Other than the talent, I mean, Coach Markinson, like, I don't know what he told his guys, but they have played better.
Yeah, and it's better talent.
Right. The best talent that we got on that offensive line is Willis Patrick.
Oh, I like Patrick. Now, I like that center. Was it Evan Bro?
Oh, yeah, Evan Bro.
I like that kid, man. That kid is tough, man. I like that. See, I like centers that can pull, and he can pull.
Yeah,
I like him. That I mean, it's night and day. The offensive line from last year and the offensive line this year is night and day. And here's the thing: the offensive line is going to get better. Yeah. It's going to get better.
And the thing is,
they have a whole season, and then they come back next season.
Oh yeah. Because see that, like I was telling y'all. See, here's the thing. What the Power Fives are concerned about is that Deion has made it fashionable now to go to the HBCU schools and play football. That's why they want to give him that ugly girl called Colorado. Deion ain't going to win in Colorado. He's not going to win in Colorado. Y'all might think he's not going to win up there. The Magic ain't going to transfer.
I'm still laughing. You said the ugly girl called Colorado.
Called Colorado.
So go ahead. And y'all already know who I'm going to put up here. Travis Hunter. He is, to me, he is the X factor.
Yeah.
He has to be the X factor.
He's the XYZ factor. He's all the above.
Yeah.
You know, and he's getting into football shape. He's in football shape now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, man, he battled injury early in the season. He played in the game against Florida A&M. He wasn't even 100%. I think it said he was like 65% healthy. He didn't come back until the which game was that, Brian? The Campbell game?
Yeah, I think homecoming.
After
Yeah,
coming
Yeah, homecoming. Yeah.
homecoming. So he came back from
yeah.
homecoming, and then he came. He played the rest of he played the rest of the way. Taking a look at these numbers right here, the 142 yards receiving, the 13 receptions, just add probably like 7 more games to it with that type of production, he would have been probably almost like a 1,000-yard receiver this season.
He don't get targeted enough.
No.
And he don't get targeted enough. They got too many weapons.
He would need to play at least 10 more snaps on offense.
I think he's a better receiver than he is a DB.
Man, I think he both.
Yeah, I think he is too.
you could put him at Z, and you could bring Dallas into slot, and you would immediately draw a double team. Southern
Right.
doubled him. Southern doubled him last game when he was in the game. They made sure that they picked him out when they saw him. So, I think that but Shador missed him on a dig he did, but I think they still completed it elsewhere. So I expect Brett Bartolone to be on his stuff because he knows the magnitude of what this game entails. They get by this game, then he's got weeks to prepare, and I think that's an advantage that they didn't take advantage of last year this time. So I just wish the game would hurry up and get him, man. It's sad that we gotta wait 5 more days, but
it'll be here. It'll be here. It'll be here. But I want to say, I think this kid is a generational talent. I'm like you. I think he can play corner. I think he can play wide receiver. Listen, that was a reason, when he signed with Jackson State, the white people down at Florida State met in the middle of the campus and burned Deion's jersey. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
They knew what they were losing now. This kid was the number 1 rated high school kid in the country. Them people in Tallahassee knew who this guy was now. It was a reason for that.
Hey, Mr. Ford, ain't it funny though that after all that happened, Florida State still ended up with a 9-3 record for this season?
Well, that kid Travis, I don't know, I can't remember his last name. That guy, he saved that coach's job. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, my hometown is about 50 or 60 miles from Tallahassee. That Florida State job is too big for Mike Norvell. He can't handle that. But he did make the decision to go with that Travis kid. I can't think of what's the quarterback's last name?
That's his last name. Travis is his last name.
That boy is what brought that team together. They've had to see the person. Let me tell you something. The person who destroyed Florida State's program is the guy that's out at Texas A&M right now. And what they did, they took it out on Willie Taggart. They didn't even give Willie Taggart 2 years. They gave Willie Taggart, I think, 15 games and fired him and acted as if he was the one that destroyed that program. Jimbo Fisher destroyed that program. That's who destroyed that program.
Hey, Mr.
Just
Ford,
like he destroyed it out there at Texas A&M. Huh?
I've talked to a lot of people from Texas A&M that comes to my store, and when they tell me, they be like, sir, they just need to go ahead and get rid of him, get rid of Jimbo, get him out of there. Like the way that he is running that program, it is not fit for him. No. And a lot of people have been, and we talked about this earlier today. I talked about this with some ladies earlier today. Texas A&M has ran off a lot of head coaches in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
It started off with R.C. Slocum.
Right.
They ran him off.
Yeah.
Jenny Francione came in and was the stopgap, but he was his name wasn't too big because the simple fact he came from New Mexico and turned that school around. Then he went to TCU and tried to turn that around. He had LaDainian Tomlinson to help him with that. So then he went to Texas A&M. The spotlight was too big for him. It was too big for him. Mike Sherman couldn't get his foot in the door with Texas A&M because the boosters was like, no, we don't want him because he don't know what the hell he doing. But I'm like, the man coached Green Bay. He coached Brett Favre. And you mean to tell me he don't know what he doing? Come on now. And then
Well, you said the key word. The key word is the boosters. That's always been a problem at A&M. That's key word.
Yeah. And then with Kevin Sumlin did more with less at University of Houston.
But you know what Kevin's biggest problem was, right?
Was that?
He was married to a white woman, just like Charlie Strong. They did. Now listen, they made them the coaches, but they never accepted that. Yeah. They never accepted that. Both of them were married to white women, and they held it against them.
That's crazy.
But let me just tell you about Jimbo Fisher. See, Jimbo is from West Virginia. First of all, when he was in West Virginia, he knew Nick Saban. Second of all, he was also connected with Bobby Bowden's family. So his connections, not his coaching ability, his connections took him to the top. A lot of people don't know that. See, this country is, you can be as brilliant as you want to be, but it's still about who you know. And that's how he's gotten those $1 million jobs. It's because of who Jimbo knows. He ain't no great coach now, but he knows people.
I wonder how much that buyout was when he was at Florida State, because it ain't nothing near that buyout that he gonna get a Texas if they let him go.
But you know what was surprising to me was if you had let Jimbo go, then you could have come in and got the guy at Ole Miss, because that's who they want. They want Lane, because all of them want Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin got to be the biggest pimp in America now. He done got a $4 million raise in the last 2 years. He got to be the biggest pimp in America.
Go on, Mr. Ford.
He talking straight fast though.
Like, I know, no, 100%.
He just got a raise this season.
Got one last year. He went up to 7.5 last year. They just gave it to him this weekend. He's up to 9.5.
He the highest paid coach in the dang on Mississippi.
Yeah, highest paid state employee.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, if they want to keep if they want to keep Deion, they need to get some more money on the book so he can, not only for himself, for the coaches. That's his biggest thing. Because a lot of times we were talking before about him leaving, Mr. Ford.
Yeah.
And we got to realize where Deion's at in his life. He's 55 years old. It's not old, man, in any regard. But you know what? Will he want to coach another 10 years till he's 65? That's another question. What's his ambition as far as being at his age right now? Shedeur gets to the league. Does he still want to coach, or does he want his son watch his son in the league? So those are the things that I look at. As a father, as a grandfather. As far as our kids, we want to. And me being a professional athlete, and when I see my son play, it was one of the greatest things to see my son play, and I coached him also in his sport. But the thing is, what does Deion want? And at the end of the day, what would he be satisfied with? Because there's no way that anybody can say to me, in my own humble opinion, that his legacy in Carter or anything will never, ever touch what he's doing at Jackson State.
Yeah. Now, let me add to that. One of the things I've said on many of these shows, when they had the game with Campbell, I think they said that game brought in something like $15 to $20 million that weekend. Then they come back. What was it? How much was it?
Yeah, 13 to 15 million.
Yeah. It was about $15-16 million that they brought in. Hello, everybody.
Can't hear you, Mr. Ford. Did he mute himself?
Nah,
he not mute. He just can't be heard.
Hey, Mr. Ford, click off and come back in.
Nah, he ain't got to click off. I'm telling you, somebody either trying to call him. If he on the cell phone, somebody trying to call him or something like that. But man, look, man.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead, Sean.
I'm just ready for the game. I'm ready for the game plan, because now I just think that it's like this as time goes, it's too much talking. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much talking. Jez, you've been waiting to find out who they've been playing for the last few weeks, and I think that
2 weeks.
the Alcorn game was indicative of that. Not only Shador chasing
The record.
that record, 2 records that he got in that game,
Hmm.
so his focus really wasn't there because he was pressing too hard to try to get a touchdown. That's why he was overthrowing them deep passes into the end zone. Like he got to just go
Yeah.
back and relax and do his thing. So I think I think that's one thing. But
And,
Southern feel confident. So listen
and
to me, y'all. They feel confident. The fans feel confident. Dooley
They feel
exuding
confident that
confidence.
they can do
His
what
team feel confident that they can change some of the things they looked around. And Bashawn McCray, if you listen to his at the end of the game speech, you know what I'm saying? He didn't seem like he was super down, but he was like, "There's just some things that we could do better." So you think he wants this opportunity too. Now he could want this opportunity too and be pressing. So JSU
hmm
DBs, they have to take advantage of opportunities, expect some high balls because that's where they're gonna be. High no way. It's
I
gonna
wonder if
be just like
Greg
all
Great's going to be
corn without
ready.
the accuracy.
I wonder if Greg Great's back is he eligible to play? Is he healthy enough to play?
We
Who?
won't know until probably about Wednesday or
Greg.
Thursday.
What's it?
Greg
Greg
Gray,
Crate? Was it Greg Crate?
safety.
I
Great.
don't know.
Safety?
I don't think he can play. Can he? No, I don't think he can play. But it's
Uh,
just going to be interesting. We're going to see. We're gonna see what we're gonna see. Mr. Ford back.
I'm sorry about that.
Hey, Mr. Ford, somebody had a question for you earlier, and I'm about to go back up here. It has something in relation with Grambling.
Uh-huh.
Um, he's asking me. They asked Reginald Swan asked who is the best coach to replace Hugh Jackson at Grambling if Grambling goes the way that they wanted. That they go that way and let Hugh go. Who you think will be the best coach?
I'm right now. I'm high on this guy, Chennis Berry at Benedict College. I'm
Mm,
high on this guy, man. I've watched him. He has SWAC pedigree. He was down there with Odoms. I like the way he's doing things. I think he's the hot person out of the SIAC right now. I know it's some more people, but Chennis Berry comes to my mind first and foremost.
mm. Granny Ann asked a question. She asked, um, "Do you think with all the commotion will cause JSU to play badly?" And she gave an example. She said basically seeing what happened with Ole Miss when they was going through a similar situation with their coach leaving, and they lost the Egg Bowl.
No,
She's
no.
asking, "Do you
Listen,
think?"
the cream rises to the top. Nah, baby, them boys ready to go. They in the vet. They people gonna be there. I'm looking. What you think about 55,000? They
Yeah.
gonna do
They
their
might
thing.
be sold
See,
out.
listen. See what we talk about Shador and all that, but the thing that a lot of people are missing, this defense that they put together at Jackson State right now, this is a generational defense. This defense is awesome. And I'm gonna be
Mm,
honest with you, that little boy y'all talking about from Southern, that front seven gonna kill him. That front seven gonna kill him. That front seven is gonna kill him. But this is a generational
I
defense
was,
that Jackson State has put together. Well, I know offense sells the tickets, and that's the glamorous part.
Def-
But this defense right here, this is man. This defense Jackson State got right here. This one, I don't care if it's Division II, FCS, FBS. This one of the best. This defense is going
Mr.
to be talked
mm,
about many years down the road.
Mr. Ford, before
man.
you were cut off, you were talking about the 13 million, the 15 million that Jackson State made. Do you want to go back to allude to that?
Yeah, I'm saying that those merchants, they owe Coach Prime a check, his assistants a check, and they need to be pumping money into that school
Mhm.
because the school, through that football team, is providing them a healthy way of living. Like I gave you an
Yeah.
example. My sister worked at Coastal Carolina. When the FBS schools came after Jamie Chadwell, the merchants at Myrtle Beach, they put together a multi-million-dollar program, paycheck for Jamie Chadwell. That money doesn't come from the school. That money comes from the merchants on the beach. The merchants in Jackson need to pay Coach Prime and his staff. He's bringing in $30 million in 2 weeks. Come on.
Yeah, that you really think about it, because he brought in, I think it was like 15, $16 million for homecoming, and then that other game was probably about $14 million. So it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that's benefiting off of this, and in a sense, we're not getting that money.
It's called the state of Mississippi.
Yeah,
they benefited.
Yeah, and a lot of people, people like, well, especially when people were staying inside the city of Jackson, especially for homecoming, everybody stayed mostly inside the city of Jackson. I know when I went for homecoming, I stayed in Pearl, so Pearl got their money. So I'm not even worried about Pearl, but I'm talking about inside the city of Jackson, inside that 55 corridor, 20 corridor, 220 loop. Those folks need to get, like you said, give Prime some money.
Give them the money.
They got to, because I can't see you get money off of it, but we still need the money to pay, need the money to pay these coaches.
There you go.
Especially the coaches. Like, we need that. Hey, like write that check, y'all. Come on.
Yeah,
write that check.
And by them writing a check, it's a great investment.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not, you're not throwing the money away. This is a great investment, because the longer he stays, the better it is for everybody.
Listen, I'm here in Atlanta. You know how many people go out to Jackson from here? That's like a 400-mile ride. We got a caravan since Dion has been out there. Now, we've already had people here who would come out and see Jackson, because, I know all of y'all know Atlanta is filled with Jackson graduates, Southern, FAMU, Tennessee. All you have to do is put on one of them shirts and walk around Atlanta. You're going to get stopped. Then they're going to ask you, you went to Jackson? When? Yeah. So you know how Atlanta and the SWAC is. But I'm just saying, they owe him the money.
Yep.
They owe him the money.
So I got a question, Mr. Ford. So how you feel about this recruiting cycle, especially with early signing period coming up in
Listen, this is one of the reasons they want him to go to Colorado to the ugly girl. This year right here, I'm expecting Dion to get a top 30. Now, I think maybe last year, the year before, he had his class ranked 54. I'm looking for his class to rank 30 or 25. Either he's gonna be in the top 25 or the top 30. That's what I'm looking at him. That is where that's what they're concerned about. Because this is what I want y'all to understand. With Coach Prime getting a top 25 class, next year FAM gonna get one. The next year Prairie View gonna get one. Southern gonna get one. That's what the power structure in the NCAA is looking at. So they saying throw that money at him to get him out. Because if they don't get him out with Colorado, if he stays and he continues to do what he's doing now, they gonna offer one of them SEC programs. They gonna offer it. If he's patient, they gonna offer one of them SEC programs. They got to get Prime out of Jackson, Mississippi. See, I say this all the time. I know people don't listen to me. The marriage between Jackson State and Jackson State University and Coach Prime is a marriage that was made in heaven. That was a marriage made in heaven.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you think about it, because Ashley was in Texas at the time, he knew he was getting a job at Jackson State. He had to be in talks with Coach Prime, because he knew he wasn't going to keep Coach Hendricks at the game at Jackson.
Oh yeah,
he had to be. There's no way that but there's no way that you're not gonna talk to Prime while you still in Texas and he's still in Texas as an offensive coordinator, knowing that you're going to go back home to Jackson and become the AD there and not bring him in.
Listen, I keep all my Florida A&M friends keep asking me, will we ever catch up with Jackson in this football? See, listen, this is what Florida A&M got. They got an outstanding young coach, Coach Willie Simmer. They got a sorry president who doesn't give a damn about athletics. We don't know nothing about this woman because I done told them over and over, no participation, no observation. What that woman know about running a top 10 football program? She didn't play football. Now, you go over to Jackson State. You got President Hustle, probably the most supportive president in the SWAC. You got AD Ashley Robinson. He's brilliant. This whole thing is his idea. And then you got Coach Deion Sanders. No other school can say they got them three. Those three men are on the same page. Okay? They breathing together. What other school can say that?
No other school can say that.
Because I tell people all the time, winning starts in the president's office. That's FAMU's problem.
Yeah.
They don't have a. Now, if it was Frederick Humphreys, yeah, they would be able to compete with Prime. But they have this other man, this Robinson man. No. He's not supportive of that program. He's faking now because he doesn't realize how important FAMU football is to the alumni, and they threaten his job. So now you have one lady doing compliance. Now you went out and hired 5. Why did we have to get to that? So that's what I tell people all the time when they ask me about why is FAMU second to Jackson? Because of the people at the top. Hudson, Ashley Robinson, Deion Sanders. That's why.
Hey, so somebody else got a question. It's Bethune, Bethune Cookman grad. He asked about who would be a good coach and should
Willie
they fire
Taggart.
Coach Sims?
Go get Willie Taggart. Go get Willie Taggart. He ain't doing nothing right now. He living off that money from they gave him big money. When they fired him at Florida State, they gave him a big bag of millions. Go get Willie Taggart. Go get Willie Taggart.
I got a question for you, Mr. Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ford, what do you think, or when do you think that Coach Prime should announce what he's gonna do, his intentions?
I think after this weekend, like you said, somebody just said y'all was talking about that
the portal.
The portal, he's got to do it. Because see, that's what Jackson has done the best with the portal, probably of anybody in this nation. Now that boy, I'm sorry, not that boy, but the coach at Ole Miss did a good job too. Lane Kiffin building his program through the portal, but Jackson became the top black university through the portal. So he's got to let them know something because it's a lot of them want to come, and they not going to Colorado.
Somebody asked me, no slack in the SWAC. He got his own podcast. He asking me, will Shedeur winning the Connolly Trophy will help him stay? It might help him stay. I mean, I feel like it'll probably help him stay because of the fact that that's a trophy that they give out to the best football player in the state of Mississippi.
But the thing is that you know what I mean, we're looking at, and it's great conversations that we're all having, and we support our universities that we cheer for. But the thing, I look at the overall picture, and I have 2 viewpoints, and I think I was talking about it before, Mr. Ford.
Mm-hmm.
For coach to leave, so everybody's going to assume that Shedeur goes. For to put Shedeur in a brand new system for his junior year is asking a lot. So that's going to take away from his draft status because we don't know what kind of year he'll have. So I think it's a deterrent for his progress if he leaves for his son.
I'm going to say this once again, and this is why I don't think it's going to happen. If Coach Sanders goes to Colorado, the winning will not translate. The magic is not going with him. Yeah. I'm telling you. Listen, Colorado hadn't been relevant in 30 years. The last time they were relevant, a guy named Gary Barnett. If you remember Gary Barnett?
Yeah, I remember him.
You remember?
Hey, Mr. Ford, I'm going to go one better with you.
Right.
Coach McCartney,
Right.
Coach
That's
Mack.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one
He,
that's
he
the one
he
who
was the one
spearheaded
was
the
with
whole thing.
the Christian organization, right? Was he the
Uh-huh.
one with the, yeah, I remember. He turned into a
Yeah,
minister, like an evangelist or something. Yeah, because he had Cordell
yep.
Stewart. He had
Yeah.
that's right, Mike Pritchard. See, here's the thing about Colorado geographically. Okay, the thing about Colorado is there are very few blacks there. If you're going to have a top 10 program in Colorado, you got to get all your kids from California or from Texas. Okay. Once they get to Colorado, here's the thing you have to understand. When them brothers get out there, they ain't going to even understand what them white people saying, because that's
Nope.
another region of the country and another dialect. And so I can't see them brothers leaving Jackson State with them beautiful women down there with all that love they get in Jackson, talking about going to Boulder with some people that hate you. I can't see it. And I'm gonna say it again. If Coach Prime goes to Colorado, he will not win there. I'm sorry. He won't win. It doesn't translate. The magic won't go with him.
Man, I'm gonna just say it like this. Don't get me wrong. I've been to Colorado. I've been to University of Colorado. That
Yeah.
campus is beautiful. It you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it gives no justice just looking at it on pictures. But when you go there, like the architect, everything is beautiful up there. But like I said, they haven't been winning since
Mm-mm.
in the last 20 years.
Right.
They let's see, Granny and asking us why they're wanting Coach Prime to leave is,
Baby,
to
it's very
me, I just
simple.
feel like
He
it's
changing the game. He making the top 4 and 5 star black children look at these black universities. They don't want that. They don't want that. They do not want it. Because I'm telling you, he's building up Jackson, but he's also going to be the reason why FAMU's going to get 4 and 5 stars. He's going to be the reason why Prairie View's going to get 4 and 5 stars. Southern's going to end up getting 5. And let me tell you something. Another sleeping giant, and I keep telling people, is Alabama State. Listen, that's a beautiful stadium they got there. You got to remember, Alabama State is 130 or 40 miles from Atlanta. They're 165 miles from Mobile. They can get to the Panhandle where super athletes reside. They can get athletes from Jackson. They can get athletes from Birmingham, which is less than 100 miles. And they can go down to Miami and New Orleans and get athletes. I'm saying it again. Alabama State is a sleeping giant. Alabama State. All they need to do is go out and get that offensive coordinator, play caller, quarterback coach. That's what they need.
oh my goodness. Now y'all know you. I mean, we talked about that with the quarterback, the offensive coordinator Harry Williams.
Yo, he's
Oh my
pitiful.
goodness, like
He's pitiful.
pitiful.
He needs to go back to if they're gonna keep him on the staff, let him coach wide receivers. That's his position. Let him coach wide receivers because he's helping to destroy that little Davis kid. See, I one time during the season, I told everybody just go back and get his high school playbook. Let's go back and just get his high school playbook because this is awful what's going on at Alabama State. In the FAMU game, they ran the ball 34 times. They gained 24 yards, and it was an average of 0.4 yards a carry. He should have been fired after the game.
Yeah, yeah. I can't say, but I'm with that, man. Like it doesn't make sense, you know, to not see that this kid got a lot of ability, but it's the coaching. And my whole thing too is, do this kid want to be developed into actually, you know what I'm saying, into actually a good player, into a great
He's a
player.
competitor. He's a competitor. Listen, when I read in, I think it was Sport News, when they compared him to Kyler Murray, first thing I said was, listen, when the last time we got a kid like a Kyler Murray? And then you got to go get the coach. See, here's the situation. Okay, last year, at the end of the season, this is what we said. The biggest glaring problem in the SWAC is the officiating is incompetent. The officiating, not this year, but last year, the officiating was awful. The biggest glaring weakness in the SWAC as of Saturday we don't have enough quality championship coaches. That's our problem. We have got to open the door to outsiders to come in. If they're championship and they're quality coaches, we got to get them in our because the reason we got to do it, we're getting FBS type athletes now in the SWAC. We can't get them no junior high coaching.
Right.
If we're going to get these big time athletes, we got to go get big time coaches. We got to go get big time position coaches. We got to go get big time coordinators, big time head coaches. That's what we got to do. The biggest problem right now is this: the coaching is terrible.
And I was about to go on to the next question. Hey, Sean, you can chime in on this. What do you think Texas Southern does right now? What do you think Texas Southern should do right now with the coaching with McKinney?
I mean, I think he deserves another year.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that you need better offensive. You need a better offensive coordinator, but you don't want to switch. It's going to be Andrew Body's third season, so maybe he matures in the passing game as well as the run game, and you buckle down on offensive line. That's where you're weak at, and offensive and defensive line, you try to get better in those areas and try to add some pieces or some caliber players that don't lose you the games that you're up in. And that comes back down to quality coaching as well. So if they can fix themselves, then they can eliminate some of the issues that they had, because to me, the West is going to continue to be up for grab. Dooley is about to lose that D line that he has. He's about to lose 3 or 4 people off that defensive line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's a weakness, and he might be losing the offensive lineman or 2. That's a weakness. So he has to retool. Texas Southern, in my opinion, outside of Prairie View, look to be like, from the West, early favorites from what you're bringing back. If you get that same play out of the players that you're bringing back and just raise it another level, I think those 2 programs. But Texas Southern coach, he deserved it. Although he had a couple of meltdowns this year. I mean, he played himself into a winning season without his quarterback getting injured. Man, they win that game against A&M, and we would see a part 2 of Texas Southern and JSU, which would be which probably would have been a better viewing, but we got what we got, man, and we got it for a reason. So hopefully, Dooley this time he shows us why he's sought after, I guess.
Well, Brother Sean, let me say this. As a person who was in school at Grambling, one thing Southern University has never had a problem doing, and that's getting players.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, personnel is not Dooley's biggest problem. The biggest problem Dooley has is that he does not have a championship staff. I heard you talk about the guys that he's going to, let me tell you something, them people are going to be replaced. Because you have to understand about Baton Rouge and going on that Southern campus and being on the bluff, it's intoxicating. Once you walk that campus, you want to, listen, I was at Grambling. I used to love to go down to Baton Rouge. I did. I love visiting. I love the culture. I love going on Southern's campus. And so that's not his biggest problem. His biggest problem is he doesn't have a championship staff. That's what's wrong with Dooley. Now, one thing that I can say about Coach Dooley, when it comes to recruiting, that's his forte. Listen, them players will leave, but they will be replaced. But that's not his problem. His problem is he does not have a championship staff. That's especially on that defensive side of the ball. He doesn't have a championship staff. It's not personnel, but coaches.
I feel better about Texas Southern and Prairie View next year than I do a Southern team.
Well, I agree with you. I totally agree with you about Coach McKinney. I think he deserves another year. But here's the thing. If you go and look up the NCAA record, Texas Southern is one of the youngest FCS teams in the country. Basically, that team is nothing but freshmen and sophomores. Now, this is what I'm saying. I would like for him to open up and go into that transfer portal and get some players for the front seven and for the offensive line. I think he's good with the skill positions. But what I'm saying is he's not strong enough up front. When the DBs are good, but he's not strong enough with his LBs, with his defensive ends, his defensive tackle. Instead of putting all the emphasis this year on high school, I think he needs to put his emphasis on the transfer portal.
I think also what happens is a lot of
I
these
think,
coaches.
I think
I think a lot of these coaches go in the transfer portal and try to get the best talent instead of getting what they need.
Yeah,
And see, that's what Coach
yeah,
Prime does really well.
right.
He goes in and fits his needs, and then after and also he's getting good athletes, but he fits his needs. And I think Alabama A&M was a perfect example where they got a whole bunch of guys from the portal, but they didn't really fit their needs.
And then the other thing, they had so many ones didn't get admitted to the university. A lot of them guys that they went and got, and the headlines was written about them, never played it down. Never played it down because they couldn't get admitted. Couldn't get
wow.
admitted. Yeah.
My thing about it with Texas Southern though, like this past recruiting cycle, they did go heavy in the high school ranks. Especially they stayed at home in Houston,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they sure did ride up I-45 to Dallas and got plucked a lot of talent from the inner city of Dallas. But I'm with you. They do need to go into the transfer portal. I feel like to see what University of Houston got, if they got any kids going into the portal. Because
listen, Texas Southern getting ready. Yeah, Texas Southern's gonna have an exodus. It's been to be a lot of kids getting ready to get out of Texas Southern. They fixing to leave College Station. And I'm telling you, I think a bunch of them gonna end up in Jackson, Mississippi.
Man, but another thing I'm about to ask you, I know Prairie View is about to they're about to name a new president. I think she is I have to read more about that, but I know she's real more into athletics and academics also, because I know Dr. Simmons, Dr. Simmons was basically academic.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Academics.
Yeah.
And I can't fault her for that, because of the simple fact that woman knew what she was doing with that school. That school was almost in a whole bunch of disarray before she got there, and she fixed everything up with it kind of like in one fell swoop. But I know it took time. But she also tried to focus on the athletics, because she figured that if our athletics is good, we're gonna get more people to come to this school.
Without a doubt, because they almost at 10,000 now. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. To me, Prairie View's a sleeping giant. Because I'm just gonna say this: I'm not impressed with their offense coordinator either. I really believe now that if Bubba would go out and get a big time offense coordinator, listen, Prairie View gonna be like it used to be now. Back in the day, the 50s and the 40s, 50s, and 60s, that old man was named Billy Nix. They dominated the SWAC. And after maybe the late 60s, they kind of fell off a little bit. But Prairie View spends the most money of any black university in America. You talking about a campus with 1,500 acres? They listen. They should be dominated.
Yep.
That Prairie View program is underdeveloped. It really is. But Bubba would go get him offense coordinator.
But my thing with this though, because I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator or did the offensive coordinator leave to go to Southern with
well, he left, but he came back. A lot of them left and came back. Yeah.
I feel like this. This is how I feel. I don't think it was the offensive coordinator's issue. It was more of a quarterback issue. And the reason why I say that is because when I look at Trayshawn Conley, Conley, I seen him play when he was at Duncanville. He is who he is. He is an athlete playing quarterback. When he's at, and I'll tell people, he's at Duncanville, and Coach Reginald Samples, we call here in Dallas, we call him the godfather of black football coaches in the city of Dallas, state of Texas, because he the only one that this man got 300-something victories and he don't have a state championship to show for. But
Right.
he gets it to the point where he can get kids to buy into his system. He had kids that can actually throw. We're talking about the same Coach Samples that had his son, Rashad Samples, he had Devontae Kincaid when he was the head coach
Right.
at Skyline. He also, if I'm gonna go back, when he was at Lincoln High School, he had a kid by the name of Byron Eaton that played basketball with Chris Bosh and won the national championship with Chris Bosh in basketball, high school basketball. He was the starting quarterback and the starting free safety on his football team at Lincoln High School in South Dallas. He knew how to develop players. My whole thing is with Conley, I don't know if Conley wanted to be developed or it was hard to develop him. That's my thing. You get what you get with Conley.
Yeah. Now I thought he progressed more under Dooley, because I saw him as a younger kid. I mean, maybe a freshman or sophomore in the Dooley. I thought he progressed more. To me, he was better with his feet than with his throwing. You know, he was at his best when he was running it. But now here's the thing. You just brought up a good point right there. Really now, with Prairie View being in Texas, quarterback shouldn't be a problem at all. All them quarterbacks coming out of Texas, quarterback shouldn't be a problem.
And that's the thing though too, because I'm like, okay, with Texas Southern, nobody knew about Andrew Body. I didn't even know about Andrew Body until last season. He came on the scene, and then I started doing my research, and I'm like, bro, the man is the kid was 5th in the state in passing yards all time.
Okay.
He got over 14,000 passing yards all time from little old Corpus Christi Miller, and he goes to Texas Southern. I don't know. I always talk to Mama about it. I didn't know. I didn't ask her what offers that he had when he was getting recruited, but he chose Texas Southern. He chose TSU, and to me, I felt like if he would have started in the beginning of the season last season, he probably would have had about 25 to 2,800 yards passing and about another 800 yards rushing.
Well, let me ask you that. You know, the gossip over here in Atlanta is that Body wants to go to Southern. Is that true?
I have to ask his mama.
Yeah, because that's strong over here. They're saying that he's looking at Southern.
If he goes to Southern, man.
I mean, that's just a street talk over here. Because I was like, boy, listen. That might be the final piece for Southern now. That might could overcome some of that bad coaching. You get Andrew Body in that outfield.
He said no. They like no. He ain't going nowhere.
Oh, he ain't go. Okay.
Cash has. I don't think they need to hire a better head coach because Coach McDowell did a good job in his first year.
I thought he did too. Yeah, I thought he did a great job. I did. I like how he changed it over. Like I said, now I still got my reservations about that offense coordinator. Now, some games I still got my reservations. Now I liked him. I did like his game he called against Grambling in Dallas. I like that, but there were some other things I saw I had some reservations about.
Yeah, the game against Alcorn. I didn't like how he called that game because I feel like Alcorn keyed in on the quarterback most of the time. But other than that, man, I can't say anything bad about Coach McDowell. Like,
no, man,
he's running a whole program now.
Yeah,
and he's not the defensive coordinator anymore.
Right,
and he's been and the thing is, he's been at PV for over a decade.
And let me ask, what happened to him in the Mississippi Valley game? Did they just fall apart, or what happened? Because I didn't go back and watch that game.
They fell apart, Mr. Ford.
They felt okay. Okay.
Sean, you got the Sean, did you watch that Valley Prairie View game? Or anybody Brian, did you watch the Valley Prairie View game?
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that game myself. I didn't. I was just shocked when they said they had lost to Mississippi Valley. I just thought that would be in the bag.
Hey Brian, did you watch that Valley Prairie View game?
I didn't see it all, but I watched some of the game. But you know what? Valley's been playing hard all year. Valley's been playing hard year. And the thing is, sometimes, Mr. Ford, you're well aware. Sometimes a team will go into a place and they look ahead like we call a so-called trap game. That was definitely a trap game for them.
Oh yeah.
Because because all they're saying, okay, we're going to go in and we're going to beat Valley and we're going to be in a SWAC championship in 2 weeks.
Right.
But you know what? They didn't meet the challenge.
You know what? I'm gonna say this about Valley. I really would like to see Valley get more money and more coaches,
yes, sir.
Especially on that offensive end. I want them to, because I like Coach Danzig. I want them to get more money in that program and some more offensive coaches.
They get more money, the SWAC could be in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Because Coach Danzig is a great coach.
Yeah, and they play hard for him too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and see that's the difference. Yeah, but see that's the difference where you see a team that plays for their coach, where Grambling, you know what I mean, almost like quit on him and you quit on him.
Yeah.
You see that's a difference and tangibles that sometimes, when you coach, Mr. Ford, I know you were talking about coaching, and when your players believe in what you're saying, they don't quit, they'll play to the last whistle.
Right. That's right. And it's a known fact. If they like you, they'll play harder for you.
And if they don't, they'll quit on you.
That's right. And because I'm going to tell you something, the game I watched, Texas Southern and Grambling, that second half, Grambling players quit. I sit here and watched it. They quit.
Ooh, yeah, I watched I watched that too. I seen the body language. The body language of the players
that's right. The body language. Right.
But yeah, Mr. Ford, I also cover MEAC football, and I also cover the CIAA and the SIAC too on my channel.
Yeah.
So we can get into some D2 football. Fort Valley State and Albany State. How do you feel like what do you think how they did this season?
Let me tell you something. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me tell you something. There's a guy at Fort Valley. He's the head coach. I think his name is Sean Gibbs. He was on Rod Broadway's staff during them glory years when Broadway was the head coach up at North Carolina A&T. That guy's ready to come on the into the MEAC or the SWAC. He's really good. He had a running back this year out of Johnson C. Smith, transferred to Fort Valley. That kid has decided he's going to go pro. But I'm just telling you, that guy's going to do very good at Fort Valley. The guy down at Albany State, I think it's Gardino. Yeah. Now, here's the thing with him personally. I think he's looking to leave. I think if somebody offers him, he'll leave Albany. I really do. Now, he's done well at Albany, but I believe that he will leave. Over here, everybody's just caught up with this Benedict College, man, with this Chennis Berry. Chennis Berry is just,
I'll talk about Benedict on the show, too, all the time. We always talk about the SWAC and the MEAC, but we don't ever give these D2 schools or these NAIA schools the proper recognition that they have, and they play damn good football. Talking about Benedict, and then you talking about Virginia Union, which that was a matchup I wanted to see this past weekend in the playoffs, but Union just went up against. I mean, Wingate I think they was hot when they was coming into the playoffs. So, I wanted to see that matchup and how Benedict's defense was going to do against Jada Byers of Virginia Union.
Right, that's what I wanted too.
And also, Tuskegee had one hell of a good season with Reggie Ruffin because he's the head coach over there.
At
Tuskegee. He came from Alabama State, right?
No, he came from Miles College.
Miles College.
Miles College. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
had one hell of a season. They played Benedict in the SIAC championship game. Even
Yeah.
though it could have been more competitive, but I just felt like Benedict jumped out on them early and did not let up.
Well, now you just brought up a good point. Now here's the thing: my sister's a graduate of Tuskegee. The word is the alums want to go SWAC, but here's the thing: the alums in Tuskegee, if y'all want to go SWAC, y'all got to upgrade them facilities over there. That football field is about 100 years old, no lights. You know they got their shed. It's got to be redone. You know they had 35,000 for their homecoming this year, but if they want to talk SWAC, they got to upgrade. They got to upgrade. And its facilities.
And then I know Fayetteville State was in the playoffs too, and they just ran against that buzzsaw against Delta State. And Delta State just lost against West Florida. So, you know, two Titans played each other this past weekend, and the better one got the victory. So going to the MEAC, and I want to start off with Norfolk State. What do you think Coach Owens has to do?
He got to bring it up. Listen, man, when my sister graduated from Hampton, we used to go over to Norfolk State. When I hit Norfolk State's campus, to me, it reminded me of Southern University. Norfolk should be dominating in every sport. They should be winning in football, girls basketball, men's basketball, baseball, track and field. They got that kind of setting at Norfolk State. Okay. I'm ready for Coach Odoms to have that big season next year now, because I really thought they were going to do really great this year, but they were a disaster. They were a disaster. So he needs to have a breakout year. He came there from Southern with a big reputation. He needs to have a big time. Now, the guy at North Carolina A&T, he was at Southern. What's his name? He's the head coach at, not A&T, I'm sorry, at Central. What's his name?
Sam Washington?
No, he's at A&T. I'm talking about the guy at Central. He was a defense coordinator. Trey Oliver. Trey Oliver's taking over the MEAC right now. He's taking over. That guy is good, man. That guy's good. He's taking over. But I want to see Now, here's the other thing. You just brought up a good point about, Fayetteville State, this other school you just called out, they need those schools to go to the MEAC. Because if they don't get some help in the MEAC with some more schools joining, the MEAC is going to fold. Because here's the thing with the MEAC. You got all of these innovative ideas in the SWAC right now. And then all that lady wants to do is sit around and talk about how elite the MEAC is, and ain't nothing going on. Listen, somebody going to pull out on them. Because right now, you got to have 6 schools to be a FCS conference. I believe one of them schools going to pull out, because ain't nothing happening in the MEAC. Ain't nothing happening in the MEAC, I'm telling you. So they need Virginia State, Fayetteville State. They need those schools to join. The other thing they need is they need to go ahead on and tell Maryland Eastern Shore, they got to bring football back. They got to bring it back. Yeah. Listen, the state of Maryland just gave all them black schools $500 billion apiece. I'm sorry, not a piece, but together. Ooh. You can't tell me that Maryland Eastern Shore can't have a football team. Listen, Morgan has already announced they're going to take some of their money. They're going to start a medical school, which is great. Yeah. So I don't understand it.
Going to start a medical school?
Yeah, they're going to start a medical school at Morgan State. So I need.
You're breaking up, Doc.
And listen, I see right here, Russell Haynes, you said you wrong, Mr. Porter, about the MEAC. Now, let me tell you, the biggest problem with the MEAC, y'all don't have leadership from your commissioners and your presidents. That's your problem. You don't have the right person as a commissioner. And them presidents you got, all they doing is collecting checks. They ain't got no new ideas. They ain't doing nothing innovative. That's your problem in the MEAC.
So I'm gonna ask you a question about Morgan State and with Coach Damian Wilson coming in from Bowie State.
Great pickup.
He came in late. Didn't get a recruiting site.
Man, listen, that was a great move by Morgan State to bring that guy in from Bowie State, man. That guy's good, man. And he brought his staff with him. That's listen. You like you said, give him about one or two more recruiting class. Bowie probably will take over that. It'll be between Bowie and that North Carolina Central, because that Trey Oliver's something else too.
And then we have South Carolina State, and a lot of people I'm hearing that a lot of rumbles saying that they want to run off Coach Buddy Pugh.
That's a mistake.
What is the main thing that they need to do to get back on track, to get back to the winning ways?
Recruiting. Fields let them down this year. You know, the big time linebacker they had, somebody told me FAMU is after him hard. I can't remember. Is it BJ Davis?
Oh, BJ Davis?
Yeah, they said FAMU is after him hard, baby. Yeah, and I hear some Power Fives is after him too. Because he could play. BJ could play.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, they said that FAMU's after him real hard.
So you might have to come back on the show some more, Mr. Ford. I'll probably do one. I do tomorrow. I do field breakdown tomorrow.
Okay, when you come back again, I'll come on. Okay, Thursday.
Thursday. I'll come back on Thursday.
At what time? Now I'm on Eastern Standard. What are you on?
I'm in the Central. I'm in Texas.
Okay, you're in Texas. Okay, so you say Thursday about what, 9 or 9:30? What time your time?
8. I do about 8.
So that'll be 9 my time. Yeah, that'll be 9 my time.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on to the show.
Yeah. Listen, I'll come on anytime. Just let me know, and I'll come on. So be looking for you Thursday, right?
Yes, sir. I have everything set up.
Okay. Have a good night. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Man, that was cool to have Mr. Ford up in here, though. Like, on the real. On the real. I can't even follow. I can't even call it. Hey, Sean, what you got going on right now, man?
Oh no, I was just kicking back, man, listening to y'all build with Mr. Ford. You know what I mean? It's always good to let him, kind of go on his thing and speak history, speak facts, give his perspective, his opinion. And it's here a library, so you gotta when you got a library in a room, man, you gotta read the book. You know what I'm saying? You gotta read the book. So it's good to listen to him when he speak, as wise as he is. He's one of the most knowledgeable people about HBCU football, and it's not just a particular team. As you can see, he's a Graham alum, but he knows the history of FAMU. He grew up in those. He was there when all of the big time stuff was transpiring. So you have to take heed to that. So it's a little respect there for that. Whether you agree with him or disagree with him on certain things, you just have to see. You have to see his perspective, because what he's going by is basically history, or talent, So that's is that. Is he right about Alabama State, being a sleeper team? Absolutely. They could be potentially a sleeper team, but who do you truly have as the head coach? You know what I mean? Like, Everybody's got a year of tape on you now. You're not doing nothing too spectacular. You know, it's
Right.
it's give and take depends. Like everything hinges on whether Coach Prime leaves or stays. That's um that's what we're talking about right now when we talk about the entirety of the sweat. Um, nobody's jumping trying to get at JSU right now if Prime is there.
Right.
However, they act like they want it, but I don't know. You know, some teams say they want it, but we'll see. But ultimately, the West, like I'm standing firm on Texas Southern. I don't like the head coach, but I think that you know, Body, if he returns, this is his third year in the same offense. You expect him to make strides. Where would he make those strides? You would expect him to make strides in the knowledge of the game and
Mm-hmm.
the pass pro, him and the receivers. Can they up, get better where they need to get better at and be competitive? But everybody is still chasing Jackson State. And for those teams who think that they got close, I just feel bad for you because every time a team think that they got close, the following time they played JSU, it was not pretty. It was not pretty at
Yeah.
all. And I think that Alcorn and I think Alabama State are going to they got to come to Jackson and they're gonna have to deal with that smoke at that time, especially with a JSU led team. I mean, with a prime led team. So, hey man, it's the waiting game, man. I mean, we had a long wait, and then all of a sudden it's literally over in in 3 weeks.
He just ready for. He said ready for football. He
Yeah,
just ready for the football game to come. He don't care about nothing else.
yeah. I don't care nothing about nothing else, bro. I just want the football game to come, and I want to just I want to see the statement. I want to see who makes the statement, and if that's it, man. I'm just ready for the game, bro, because it's gonna be a long off season. It's gonna be a
Oh
long off
yeah.
season.
Yeah. What do you think, Brian, man?
Well, it's been this is like where you're seeing a movie and you know what happens at the end, but you just hope it doesn't happen. And the thing is, it's been an arduous situation as far as everything going on. But here's a great thing that I've learned in my years on this earth: no publicity is bad publicity. You
That
know
is
what I mean?
true.
And you get your name out there. What is Prime known for? You know what I mean? Like you said, he's been in the spotlight for many years. He's been Prime for a long time. One of his mentors or people that what I mean that he looked up, or I don't say look up to, but that markets well is who? Jerry Jones. Good,
Yep.
bad, or indifferent. Dallas Cowboys are always in the news. In the sports in the sports realm. JSU is, what I mean, in college sports, Bleacher Report, ESPN, Fox. They're getting more publicity. They're getting their name more mentioned than it has been. And well, you guys know the history better than I do. But as for me, as somebody living in Canada, we hear about Dion, we hear about JSU more now in the last couple of years than that I can ever remember. Beside
Mm-hmm.
the HBCUs, beside Grambling and Howard University and stuff like that. But the thing is, all in all, it's gonna. I can't wait for the game Saturday. I might not catch it all. I'll get bits and pieces, at work, and then after I'll run home and catch the second half. Most of the second half, hopefully. But uh, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was burned down in one. And I just think
Mm-hmm.
that there's sometimes we look so into the present and we don't think about the future. And I think the future of Jackson State looks very bright with Dion or without Dion. It won't be obviously the same, but I think what he's built and what AD Robinson has a succession plan. He has to have one. He's a smart guy. So I just think that it's great newsworthy right now as far as, as Carl Reed put it out there a couple weeks ago, and now we're still talking about it 2 weeks later. We're still talking it up to the SWAC Championship, and we'll still be talking unless he makes an announcement Sunday, um, and before the Celebration Bowl, and before the recruit, the transfer portal for FBS. So that's what we're looking forward to. But most of all, I'm with Sean 100%. Let's get the game, man. Let's get the game. Let's forget about everything else, and let's watch this game. Let's watch this season be the season that, you know what I mean, will be talked about for many, 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 many years, and be the best season in Jackson State history, which is already is basically.
Man,
But they
this
got
I'm
to
gonna tell you,
but they got
I'm
to
gonna tell
finish,
you,
like Coach says. They got to finish.
I'm gonna tell you like this though. This is Southern's. This is Southern's. I'm a big wrestling fan. This is Southern's WrestleMania right here, in a sense.
Yeah.
Like
Yes, it is.
they don't want to bomb this. You know what I'm saying? And Southern coming out as being the heel, as the heel persona, and Jackson State is the baby face. So unless they want to throw that monkey wrench up in there,
We don't
they
want
got to
this to
come
be a
out.
Buster. We don't want it to be a Buster Douglas Tyson thing.
Yeah. Russell talking about, yeah, we wait. Look, we ready for the game to come on so we know who gonna play, who y'all gonna, Central gonna play in the Celebration Bowl. I'm just ready for this game to come on Saturday. Like, y'all gotta realize, man, I've been itching for the last week and a half, 2 weeks to figure out who the hell we gonna play. And it's look, it's go time. That's all I gotta say. All I gotta say is go time on Saturday. I guess it'll supposed to be a preview. I guess I'm supposed to do a review, but shoot, I turned this into a preview, and it's gonna be another preview on Thursday, and then Friday is the I Love Friday, and then Saturday, man, look, we're gonna have the post game show. If I get Mr. Ford back on the show on Saturday night, shoot, we gonna roll with it, y'all. But again, man, I thank everybody for rocking with us this season. I thank everybody for rocking with me this season. Who'd have thought me just doing little small videos off the phone turn into something this big right here? Because I didn't even think that if it was gonna, it was gonna work out in a sense, but it's working out for me. It's working out for everybody. Yeah, Michael Campbell, hit me up on that. Hit me up on that, man. I've already sent you my email, so hit me up on that. But other than that, man, film breakdown tomorrow afternoon, around about 3:00, and take a break on Wednesday, and then Thursday we got another show, then Friday show, and then Saturday show. We back, we back into it. We back on track. And then we're gonna wait another 2 weeks because the Celebration Bowl ain't until December the 17th. So, which I in between time, I'm gonna be watching some other stuff. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to check out some Paul Quinn college basketball here in the city. See how they doing. And pretty much that's about it, man. But if anybody got anything else to say,
no, I'm good. I'm out.
All right, Brian. What about you, Sean?
Nah, man, this is it for me, man. I'll catch you later.
All right. All right. Okay, Mike. Yeah. Hey, Michael, send me the information to my email address. There you go. That's my email address right there. But thank you, Ms. Rich. Thank you, man. Thank you, Russ. All right, but hey, y'all, man, look. Hey, y'all, look. Y'all already know most people that's been rocking with me and give my shout outs. Give a shout out to God, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing this today. If it wasn't for him waking me up, I wouldn't be doing this today. Make sure I give a shout out to my wife, because she is the executive producer uh of this podcast, and she knows the ins and outs of being a boss, even though I'm a boss myself. But she's been, she's trying to groom me and trying to get me to be something bigger than what what this channel can be. Because she always says I'm a brand. You are a brand, and you got to stay on brand. So she has been feeling good. So she been sick for like the last week, but she always tell people, hey, make sure you like the stream and become a subscriber. That is her thing. And if you haven't seen her, her name is Lady Holiday. She will be in the chats majority of the time. Also, like I said, again, shout out to my guys Brian and Sean, man, because like in a sense, when I was doing this, starting, doing the live, Sean came in and helped me out. Brian been on this thing ever since almost the beginning of the season. Give a shout out to my boy DJ from Raw Truth Media, helping me out for the long, helping me out with certain things when it comes to being a podcaster and stuff. Man, I just got a lot of love for everybody. I just got a lot of love for everybody. Everybody just make sure, man, look, y'all tap in. Make sure you become a subscriber. Tap in on Tuesday afternoon, 3:00. We do film breakdown. Hopefully, I do not get flagged for this using the video as in a reaction purpose only. Other than that, man, we'll have Mr. Ford back on the show on Thursday. Friday is the I Love Friday SWAC Championship edition, because we're gonna get it in. We're gonna have fun with this. And all the alumni that's from Jackson State, y'all need to come on this show. Come on the show. Become a subscriber and come on the show. We're gonna have fun with this weekend. All right. But like I said, man, look, I'm your boy Doc Holiday. This is another HBCU OverDrive live show where HBCUs matter. If you haven't done by now, make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell and get everything HBCU OverDrive. All right. But in the meantime, between time, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay dangerous as always. Peace.